Hello guys and welcome back to another UCL fantasy video. Today I'm going to present you some final tips for the upcoming match day 15 slash first round of the semifinals of the UCL. What will my plan be? What I will do with my team is going to be focused here. Of course, what are the captaincy options that I want to present to you. And if you have any dilemmas, don't hesitate to ask me down in the comment sections. I'm answering every comment, so don't hesitate, just type in. And if you want to be there for the deadline stream and not to miss it, subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on. It will help me grow my channel massively, which is pretty important for me, so thank you in advance. Now we have 5 transfers for the upcoming semi-final round. Those of you that are still with a wildcard, I've created a wildcard draft in my previous video, so there I've explained everything about what type of wildcard draft I would do and how I would put the players in and what would be my focus. Now, apart from those on a wildcard, those 5 transfers, if you don't use all of them, they're gone. So that's the first thing that you need to know. I've got this question too many times. If you haven't used any of the transfers in the knockout stage, in the next phase, you won't have more transfers. So if you don't use any of the 5 now, next time you will have 3 and you cannot increase it, you cannot decrease it. It's 5, then it's 3. So if you have transfers and if you have issues, use the transfers as they will be always gone. Now, what is a good split for players? I would say a good split of players is that the minimum number of the bad outcomes, so let's say the teams you don't favor, go to the next round. With 5 transfers, you'll be able to put in a starting 11 for the final. That would mean that at least 6 players need to be present for the 2 teams that you think may go out. Of course, there is one possibility to go heavy on one game. For example, pick 5 Arsenal and 5 PSG. That would leave you with 5 players of each, regardless of who goes on. And then you put 3 players from Barcelona and 2 from Inter. So those are immediately 7 players into the frame. Another strategy is to get on the team that's a favorite. For example, PSG and Barcelona. I know that some of the odds are saying that Arsenal are a favorite, but I don't see it. Honestly, I really do believe that PSG are a heavy favorite in this game. But let's say you bet on PSG and Barcelona and you pick combined of 9 players between them, you still need 6 players from the other 2 teams. So if something goes wrong, you can rely on those players and you can have a proper starting 11 for the final without taking a hit. Of course, it's not the end of the world if you end up with 1 less or 2 less players as on the final. If you have the best players, you have the highest chance of getting points. As finals in general are not some place that I would say it's that important to take a look at, because yeah, finals are decided by an goal scorer. For example, Rodri deciding the City versus Inter Milan final. That was surprising, but still it happened. Real Madrid, yes, sometimes last year they got the clear favorites against Borussia Dortmund, but some of the players you did not expect to get you points, but some of them did right that. Now, for my team, what I have to do is to focus that split of at least 3 players from at least 6 players from the teams that I do not think will go through. So if Arsenal and PSG go through, Arsenal and Inter go through, I want to have minimum of 6 players to rely on. Of course, you have a second leg where you can rely on a lot of players. But nonetheless, I think you should start preparing in advance as we will have a lot of information right now. The good thing is that we will know the Arsenal lineup before the PSG game starts and we will know the PSG game. I'm saying that because Merino missed the last game against Crystal Palace in the league, but there were 7 days between those fixtures and he has been playing some really outstanding football. And if he's playing as a center forward as Havertz is missing, this is going to be great for Arsenal and for its players. For example, Due, is it worth taking him? If he's on the bench, even if he is on the bench, if he starts, it's hands out. The best thing to do is to get him, but if he isn't, I would still get him. Now, how I'm going to address the issues? I have 1, 2, 3 players that are gone immediately. They are not in the squad as I don't have space for money. They are not in the game anymore, so they are out. Next up, we have an injury, that's Lewandowski. Then we have two players that I want to swap. First of them is Vitinha, because I will have too many PSG players for my liking, and the second is Bastoni, as I will have too many players from that team as well. Of course, you will say, but keep Bastoni, you have only two Inter Milan players, it's not that the end of the world. And you might be correct, and I might keep him for the sake of keeping him. But the thing is, if I keep Bastoni, let's say, I need to get forwards. That's the obvious thing in my team. I need forwards. PSG will have only one forward. Let's go to forwards. If you see Lewandowski, Havertz, Thuram, Jesus are fucked. Gonçalo Ramos has not been used too much. Lautaro is good, Doe is good, Taremi probably good this week, Arnautovic mediocre, Pau Victor and Mbaye not used. So there is only two teams that I can get forwards from, PSG and Inter Milan. So I will get more PSG players into my team, and I will get more Inter Milan players into the team. So immediately Lautaro and Doe are in, as Doe plays on the first day, which is quite good. This leaves me with an option to just pick him, and yeah, even if he doesn't start, I can replace him on day 2 and to have a proper starting 11. Then about Mbappe, I can go for Taremi, but I can go also for Thuram. Or what I can do is leave Lewandowski. I know that he's not playing soon, but I will play with one player less, and then I take out Bastoni. Now I have two Inter Milan players, but you're going to say, okay, you have two Barcelona, now you add a third. There is an obvious player that is missing from my team, and that player is none other than Yamal. Now you have a fourth Barcelona player, and I would be correct. I have 4 Barcelona players. One of them is injured, so that leaves me with 3. 3 is not a number that I would prefer to have, as their at-home fixture. As Barcelona are at home this time around, there are several options that I can do. First, I can take out Leva, pick Taremi, let's say. The Thuram is out, but I cannot guarantee that. They may surprise us, they may risk him. Taremi may not play enough minutes. Of course, Arnautovic is luring around the team also. So if I take out Lewandowski, I add another Inter Milan player. So that is Sommer, Martinez, Bastoni for me, and another, let's say it's Taremi. So those are 4. I'm not happy with 4. I probably prefer 2 and a non-playing. I don't know why, but yeah, it's a home fixture for Barcelona, and at home they have been amazing. They play out of this world of football. Then on the reverse fixture, that's something else. Probably we can take out some of the Barcelona players, bring in more Inter Milan players, take out the PSG bench fodder option, or even get some PSG players in, as they are playing they're playing at home. So you can keep Dawe in order to save him for the final. There are a lot of options. Now, if I do that, I need to take out Ulise and Vitinha. So Ulise is gone 1,000,000%. Here I'm planning, if Merino starts, to get Merino and be done with it. Where is freaking Merino? Did I miss him several times? Of course I did. So Merino goes in. Those are 3 hours now. I'm happy with 3 hours now. Now I can go back and get a third Inter Milan player with Bastoni and the fourth one with Taremi. But that's a transfer bound to happen, as probably if Thuram is fit for the second leg, I want to get him out. And that would leave me with 3 Barcelona players and 4 Inter Milan players when they are away to Barcelona. And I'm like, do I really want it? Probably not. So I most probably prefer to have 2 Inter Milan players. I know it sounds strange, as Inter are one of the better sides, but yeah, away from home, they are not in a good form. They are tired. Of course, Barcelona may be tired as well, but in Spain, everything is going to go their way. And I think here I'm going to go with Inigo Martinez, who got a rest. And now I have a proper 14 players for Barcelona, 3 Arsenal, 5 PSG, which I'm not happy about. But if we had other forwards, I would have not gone with Doe, but we don't, so I take Doe in. I have 5 PSG and 2 Inter Milan players. Of course, that number will change into the second leg. I will take out Inigo Martinez if someone else is not injured, but I will get someone from Inter Milan. Most probably Dawe can leave the team and I can get one more Inter Milan player, and that would leave me with how many? That would leave me with 1, 2, 3 Barcelona, 4 Barcelona, sorry, for the final. If Lewandowski is fit, that would leave me with 4 PSG. That would leave me with 3 Arsenal and with 4 Inter Milan. So the minimum number of players that I will have for the final is 7, which is an ideal number, and I will have 1 free transfer in order to adjust the team, which is good. Of course, I can always take out Lewandowski and Martinez, so that would leave me with 3 Barcelona, and that would leave me with 4 Inter Milan, 3 Arsenal, and 5 PSG. I don't like that balance too much, but still 6 players is the minimum that we have, and I have the best players from the teams that I would like. Honestly, if I have Nuno Mendes and Hakimi, if I have Saliba and Saka, I'm covered with Arsenal or PSG. Having Dembele also helps. Then if I have Rafinha and Yamal and Kunde, I think I'm okay for the final. If Barcelona reaches it, if Arsenal reaches it, already mentioned it. If Inter reaches it, Martinez and Sommer and starting forward and a fullback. So I think I can survive the final, of course, but I think I will start Matchday 15 swash semi-final first leg with this lineup. I will keep Lewandowski. I know that it sounds strange, but I want to attack the home fixtures. Now I have 3 Arsenal and 5 PSG, so that doesn't seem like attacking the home fixture, but it's just because Dawe is there. If Havertz was fit, it was going to be Havertz, Rice, Saka and Saliba for me instead of Dawe, but it isn't, so I need to take it in. Dumfries is another option that is back into contention. He's an amazing option. Of course, if we take a look at the defenders, he's around the top, even though he missed several weeks. But I don't know if he starts, and I don't know if he plays enough minutes. I will stack it up on Inter Milan on the second leg when they're at home and when we know their lineup and we'll know which forwards and which fullbacks start. So that's pretty important. On the other side, I think having Kunde, Rafinha and Yamal covers a lot. Now bringing in Inigo Martinez helps a lot. I want to get in Pedri or Ferran Torres, but I want also to stack it up some bit on Arsenal. So if we had Havertz, maybe bringing in another Barcelona midfielder would have been feasible. But now without us having another midfield forward option, basically forwards limit us so much, so we have to adjust based on that. So I think that's a good outlay for my team. Of course, I'm not confirming anything until we see the lineups. Maybe Doe is not in the lineup at all and I don't take him. Maybe Merino doesn't start, I don't take him. So Saliba, Saka, then Dembele, Hakimi, Mendes, Donnarumma, I think they will start if they're fit, but are they fit? Who knows? So that's the lineup that I plan to bring this week. Now, we have several options how to proceed with captaincy. You can stack it up on the home team, go for someone like Saliba, Luis Kelly. If you got him, Saka, Merino, Rice, all are good options. I'm probably going to risk it with Merino this week because why the hell not? I have then Rafi at home against Bisek and injured Dumfries. So yeah, I would probably get it on Rafinha for the second day, but I would risk it with Merino. Risk it for the biscuit, they are saying. Then, of course, good options are Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, if you have him. Nuno Mendes is great option. Saka is great option. But I think if you are risking it now, most of the teams will have the same lineups overall. Probably Kunde, Hakimi, Mendes and Saliba are in every lineup. Saka, Yamal, Dembele, Rafi also. Martinez and Doe also. So the other differentials will come from different positions. I want to get some differentials with Inigo Martinez. Probably with the captaincy with Merino. If I manage to hit it well with Merino. We have, of course, to guess and to see why. Did I have to sell Lewandowski before the Borussia Dortmund game? Probably, and it would have meant that now I don't have to deal with him and I would have had Martinez. But if Martinez went out, which was not out of the equation against Bayern Munich, that would have meant that I'm without forwards and Lewandowski might have been fit. So yeah, I took a calculated risk. It didn't calculate in my favor, but I'm happy with it. Of course, there are some very differential options to go if we take a look around the field and we go with selected. I want to sort them out in the reverse order, and I want to go the other direction, and we'll start from under 10% of the game. Of course, Vitinha, penalty taker. Saka is only 9%, so that shows how few managers, what number of few managers play the game at the moment. 9%, it's absurd. If we go down, Pedri at 8% is pretty low. Bastoni, De Vrij, Pavard, Baude, you see how low. Dumfries at 4%. Imagine for the second leg of the semifinals you get Dumfries. Or even now if you want to get him, Thuram. Also, Kvaratskhelia is at 4% when PSG are to the semifinal. That's not understandable for me. Raya is pretty high on the list, so he's the most owned keeper. So most of the people will have him over Donnarumma for the semifinal. So even Donnarumma is a differential. Of course, you can keep Bastoni here and probably get Szczesny, but I prefer Sommer, to be fair, as I don't want to swap keepers. Who else is with low numbers? If we go, Trossard is pretty low. If he decides to show up, Merino at 1% is going to be the absolute differential. If you pick him, Taremi also 1%. If he plays and if he scores, oh my god, yeah, that's going to be brilliant. Of course, if you don't believe in Barcelona defense, you can go for Taremi here instead of Lewandowski. That would mean that you have to probably sell him for the second leg, as Thuram will be coming back. If he's almost fit now, he'll be for sure fit for the final. So it's a little bit ifs and buts, and here and there, of course, if you want to attack fixture, Taremi does the job brilliantly. You keep Bastoni, and you just go with 4 Inter and 3 Barcelona. I know it's a very strange thing to say, but it's quite feasible. Of course, you can disregard Merino and go with Luis Skelly here. You then pick Pedri or Ferran Torres. And now you have 4 players again, and 4 attackers. But I prefer Yamal and Rafi, and I think that's okayish. If I was on a wild card, Lewandowski would have been out and the team would have been the same. Apart from the Lewandowski position, do I have to take a hit? No way for those 4 points. If it was for a defender, probably, but now I'm planning to get the defender. So yeah, if we go down, Mkhitaryan is 1%, a penalty taker. Kivior is at 1%, a starting center back. Darmian, I don't know if he starts. Luis Skelly is at 1%. That's a pretty low number. Arnautovic at 1%. You get a lot of differential picks if you are just careful and if you follow the lineups. Yamal, Merino, Martinez and Doe are in. The final thing is going to be Taremi. Of course, I can disregard Doe, absolutely disregard him, and go with Taremi here. And that may work like that. And just not get Doe if he doesn't start. Do I believe that he will start? Probably not. And now I have 4 players, but I'm betting on 2 attackers versus 2 Barcelona defenders. But you have to bet on something. I'm betting with 2 Arsenal against 3 PSG. So yeah, you cannot have them all here, and you can rely on some low points. So maybe Taremi is a better pick than Doe, because I think Taremi starts. And when Taremi starts in this game, he played 90 minutes and he destroyed Zvezda. Here he played 90, here he played 77, 79, 65, 85, and now his score dropped. Of course, if you want to risk it for him to get benched, even if he get benched, I think that he will enter the field early. When he did it last time against Bayern Munich, he did it in 9 minutes. Here he didn't feature. Here he earned a penalty with 90 minutes against Feyenoord, but yeah, Taremi is an okay option, and at 1% he's good. Of course, if Doe starts, I would be picking Doe immediately. So Taremi versus Doe is going to be the decision. Of course, then for the reverse fixture, I will have 1 more Inter Milan player compared to the Barcelona, but probably Taremi will be out for whoever starts in attack, and it will be Dumfries who joins the field here instead of Inigo Martinez. And the final transfer will be just to adjust the team if we have an injury or something, or I'm just going to burn it, or I'm just going to get Doe instead of Lewandowski and yeah, have 15 players. But that's for the future. I think that I prefer this more. If Dawe starts, Taremi is going to go out. If Merino doesn't start, probably I will get whoever is up front for Arsenal, being Trossard, probably. But I believe it's going to be Merino and Saka and Saliba, that Arsenal trio. Taremi, Martinez, Zomar, Inigo, Yamal, Rafinha, Koundé, and we have 4 players from PSG and 1 injured player that, yeah, it happens. So, thanks so much for watching. I described everything that you need for this week. Until we see the lineups, join me for the deadline stream. We're going to have a very, very nice deadline stream where we're going to discuss everything. We're going to see the lineups and we're going to answer all the questions that are there. I'm going to be following some rumors for the starting lineup, so I will be up to speed with everything that we have. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you for being part of the community. If you haven't joined, subscribe to the channel. It will help me grow massively. Join the deadline stream and let's try to get our best ranks possible in the end of the season. Thanks so much for watching, but for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.